Hey there, pirates! Welcome aboard the Anime No Mi channel. Nami's father is Shepherd Summers, a god knight, one of the Celestial Dragon's elite guards, who make the Gorosei look like fancy butlers. Forget the old story that Nami was just an orphan adopted by Bellemere with a tragic past. This theory suggests she carries noble blood mixed with divine rebellion, connecting her mastery over weather to the legacy of a father who commands the forces of heaven. Guys, One Piece is entering its final saga, revealing huge secrets about the Straw Hat Pirates as Monkey D. Luffy continues his journey to become the Pirate King. With the recent release of the Vivre cards, which act as visual encyclopedias of the most important characters in the Grand Line, many fans are diving deeper into the hidden stories behind the crew. In old interviews with creator Eiichiro Oda, some important revelations about Nami have resurfaced, specifically about her biological parents, whose identities remain unknown. As One Piece fans know, Nami was adopted by the former Marine Bellemere and grew up alongside her adoptive sister, Nojiko. Her life, however, changed drastically when Arlong and his Fishman crew arrived at their island, resulting in Bellemere's death and forcing Nami to join Arlong's crew to save her village. Luckily, with Luffy's help, Nami was freed from that torment and her village was saved from Arlong's tyranny. Despite all the new revelations in the final saga, Nami's true parents still remain a mystery. In past interviews related to the films One Piece, Strong World, and One Piece film Gold, Oda confirmed that he had already planned the story of Nami's biological parents in his mind. He even considered introducing them in Strong World, but decided not to move forward with the idea. Later, during the production of Film Gold, Oda mentioned again that he still had a concept for Nami's parents, one he hadn't yet explored in the manga. But now, with the final saga underway, time is running out for that secret to finally be revealed. As the story of One Piece reaches its climax, many fans still eagerly await the possible revelation of Nami's true parents, a secret Oda might have been saving for a very special moment, and it seems that time has finally come. Let's start building the stormy atmosphere of this theory by revisiting the basics of who Nami is and why she's always felt like a walking tempest with mysterious roots. Nami first appears as a clever thief in Chapter 8, stealing maps and hearts with her sharp wit, but her backstory explodes in Chapter 77 during the Arlong Park arc, where we learn that she was adopted by Bellemere, a former Marine who found her as a baby in a village destroyed by pirates. Bellemere raised Nami and Nojiko as her own daughters, but died heroically in Chapter 77, sacrificing herself to protect them from Arlong's fishmen. Traumatized, Nami became a forced cartographer for Arlong's crew, dreaming of one day mapping the entire world. But here's the thing, the manga never reveals who Nami's real parents are. It's a black hole in her story, a storm cloud Oda has left hovering since the beginning. Now enter Shepherd Summers, introduced as a god knight in Chapter 1139, during the Elbaf arc. He's a world noble from the Shepherd family, a middle-aged man with glasses, long hair, and an aura of mystery that makes Figureland Garling look like a rusty tin knight. In Chapter 1140, Summers is summoned to deal with a threat in Elbaf, showing powers that seem to involve environmental control, or something agricultural, tied to his name, Shepherd, suggesting he can manipulate nature itself like a harvest deity. Now, the theory takes shape. What if Summers is Nami's father, a celestial dragon who abandoned the heavens to protect a common girl? That would explain her innate weather control abilities, as if she inherited a divine gift mixed with the curse of the D bloodline or something celestial in nature. And here's where everything lines up like wind currents before a storm. If Shepherd Summers truly is Nami's father, then our beloved navigator isn't just a genius with weather talent, she's the missing link between sky and sea, a heavenly piece placed on Oda's chessboard since the early chapters. Think about it. Since Chapter 8, Nami has shown a sixth sense that goes beyond human instinct. She doesn't just predict the weather, she feels it, talks to it. It's as if the wind whispers secrets to her, and the clouds answer her emotions. The Climatact, created with Usopp's technology, might just be a conductor for a power that's already inside her. Deep down, what Nami does is the same thing the God Knights seem to command: the manipulation of the environment, control over nature itself. Shepherd Summers, first shown in Chapter 1139, is presented as the Shepherd of the Sky, a calm man with a gentle voice, yet his mere presence changes the air around him. When he appears, the clouds reorganize. In Chapter 1140, he summons storms that obey his will, not through magic, but through divine authority. It's a symbolic power. He guides the flock of weather like a godly shepherd. Now connect the dots. The name Shepherd Summers, Shepherd the Bukishker Pastor, Summers, Blagrim Summer, in archaic English, literally translates to the shepherd of the sun. Nami's name, in turn, means wave. She is the daughter of the sun and the sea, the perfect harmony between the sky that watches and the ocean that responds. And what if Chapter 77, when Bellamere finds Nami as a baby, hides something much greater? Bellamere says she found the child in a destroyed village, but she never explains how that baby survived. What if that place had been attacked by celestial pirates, or even by the God Knights themselves? Then, baby Nami might have been intentionally left on Earth to hide from marriage wise, an act of both betrayal and love. Shepherd Summers, breaking his sacred oath as a God Knight, could have descended from the sky, handed his daughter to a former Marine, and vanished into the clouds like a fallen angel. That would explain so much about Nami. Her hatred of pirates stems not only from trauma, but also from her noble blood, which despises the chaos of the sea. Her passion for map-making comes from divine instinct. The gods are the true cartographers of the world, tracing routes and oceans. Her love for tangerines, the fruits of the sun, echoes the paternal legacy of a harvest god. More than coincidence, Oda scatters symbolism everywhere. In Chapter 403, Nami uses Thunderbolt tempo against Khalifa, a lightning strike that falls exactly when she commands it. Oda could have portrayed it as a simple scientific trick, but instead he chose to draw the lightning as if it were answering her call, almost mystical. And in Chapter 1139, Summers makes the exact same gesture, pointing his finger toward the sky right before the winds of Elbaf bend before him. The parallel is far too poetic to be accidental. The theory reaches its peak when we look at the final arc. Elbaf is the land of giants, but it's also home to ancient runes and myths tied to the world's origins. In Chapter 1130, there's a mural depicting the children of thunder, beings who inherited the gift of the heavens. And according to sharp-eyed fans, Nami's name actually appears hidden among the glyphs. The Japanese character Na, inscribed inside the symbol of wind. Coincidence? Or Oda leaving a trail to reveal that the most human Straw Hat navigator might in fact be half divine? The Gods Knights are introduced in Chapter 1054, with Figureland Garling as their leader, an elite celestial guard who delivers divine justice, as seen in Chapter 1086, where they punish traitors and marry Joies with blades that cut like lightning. Shepherd Summers, from the same family as Saint Shepherd Jew Peter, a Gorosei first introduced in Chapter 233 and officially named in Chapter 1086, carries a legacy of elemental control, perhaps over agriculture or shepherding, that extends to weather manipulation, like herding winds instead of sheep. Nami, since Chapter 8, has shown a supernatural connection to maps and weather, predicting storms as if she could feel the pulse of the sky. In Chapter 81, after Bellamere's death, Nami swears to map the entire world, but her origin in a pirate-destroyed village might be a cover-up. What if Summers, a god knight, hid her there to protect her from the Celestials, the same way Amu in Chapter 906 sits upon the empty throne hunting down potential threats? The theory gains voltage here. Summers, perhaps rebelling against the celestial system like Dragon in Chapter 100, abandons Mary Joice to save his illegitimate daughter, explaining why Nami is an orphan and why her intelligence and control over weather seem almost divine, inherited from a father who literally commands flocks of clouds. And that's why Summers fits perfectly as Nami's father in a storyline Oda would weave like a cryptic map. In Chapter 1139, Summers is described as a calculating man with sharp glasses, a detail echoing Nami's precision as a cartographer. His family, the Shepherds, connected to Jew Peter, the Gorosei of agriculture seen in Chapter 1086, might control natural elements such as weather for crops. Think of Nami summoning thunder in Chapter 403 with her Klimatact, an extension of her innate gift. In Chapter 77, Bellamere finds baby Nami in the middle of a battle. But what if that battle wasn't random? What if it was God Valley or a similar incident? In Chapter 1096, God Valley is portrayed as pure chaos, with celestials hunting natives. Summers could have fled with his illegitimate daughter, hiding her in the East Blue. The theory strikes again. Nami, with hair as orange as a celestial sunset, inherits the traits of a father who abandoned the heavens for mortal life, just like Dragon did with Luffy in Chapter 100. That would explain why Nami hates pirates but becomes one herself, as shown in Chapter 81. The internal conflict of rejected noble blood. The God Knights, seen in Chapter 1086, are shadowy figures who even punish Celestials, suggesting blind loyalty to Imu. But Summers, introduced in Chapter 1139, carries an air of mystery, perhaps a traitor within their ranks, like Sabo in Chapter 1082. Nami, first seen in Chapter 8, is adopted without known parents. Yet her skill with the staff, the climb attacked, mirrors the celestial weapons used by Garling in Chapter 1086. In Chapter 1140, Summers is summoned to Elbeth, where the Straw Hats are located in Chapter 1126. Coincidence? Maybe not. Oda could be setting up a reunion, where Summers recognizes Nami as his daughter, revealing that her weather prediction is not talent, but inheritance, the legacy of a god knight who commands the elements. Finally, in Chapter 1116, Vegapunk reveals that the world is sinking. As the crew's cartographer, Nami might hold the key to mapping the new world, guided by the blood of Shepherd Summers, the man who once herded the winds of heaven. That was today's content. We hope you liked it and want to share your opinion on the subject. Don't forget to share the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and stay amazing.